Hello. So, what I'd like to speak with you about now is responsible dog care. If you already have your dog, I assume you're pretty well versed in responsible dog care. And if you don't have your dog yet, it's not something of highest priority because you don't yet have a dog to care for. But I do think it's important that you understand some of the nuances of caring specifically for a service dog or a service dog in training. And the most basic stuff, of course, feeding your dog, making sure your dog is healthy, giving your dog lots of water, giving your dog lots of play and lots of opportunities to eliminate outdoors, and a loving, fear-free, force-free training approach. Those are all the basics, and we're going to cover those basics a bit in our program. But the thing that gets more specific would be, when is a service dog allowed to just be a dog? Are service dogs allowed to sniff? Are service dogs allowed to play? Can they hang out with your kids? Can they sleep in your child's bedroom? There's a lot of questions people have regarding how to kind of combine living with a dog, loving a dog, including the dog as a family member, but then relying on this dog as a working partner. And I will say that in no way, shape, or form do I want you to view your dog as a personal servant. Your dog's partnership is going to be encouraging your dog to lovingly, willingly, by choice, give care to you. And because of the kind of training we do, that is going to be your dog's choice. It's not brainwashing and it's not manipulation. It's just about bonding with someone who is available to love you in uniquely multi-dimensional ways. And this is something I've been thinking about recently. One of my beloved dogs recently passed away, and I was thinking about the way she loved. And I was thinking how she was a German Shepherd. She was 11 years old, and it was just her time. But what I was thinking about is how she was kind of all at the same time loving as like a puppy, like as like a dog, non-human child with me as her parent figure. But then simultaneously, she also would often take the role of like the loving parent protector towards me. And not in a condescending way, just in a truly generous way. And then at other times, most of the time, I also noticed that we were peers. She was my partner, and we equally respected each other. And I gave to her by choice, and she gave to me by choice. And I never thought of her as someone who needed to obey me, or like I was her master, or that I needed to be alpha over her, which I'll debunk elsewhere. But I just disapprove totally of anything that looks down upon this dog and demands or extorts from the dog some form of service. So the words service dog, your dog is involuntary service, kind of similar if you're a veteran to hopefully what you were able to do. If you were drafted, I guess that's a little different, but I bet once you were in program, in service, you were giving because you believed in what you were doing. I want you to believe in yourselves, and I want you to believe in your dogs, and I want you to give and receive equally. And I don't want it to be a situation where you think your dog suffers for being your service dog. And I'm going to make sure that you understand how to love and respect and train your dog as an equal and as a subject, not an object. And I make a big deal out of this because it matters immensely to me that there's ethics underpinning every single thing we do, that we always consider the dog as an other with a capital O. So I digress. Sorry, I talk too much, but you need to hear this. So the responsible care of a dog, of course, I'm hinting at it. It largely has a lot to do with how you view your dog. Who do you see? Do you see a construct that you've invented? Do you see, I have a lot of dog books. These books, when I was a little girl, I used to just comb through them, and they would tell me different things about dogs. What dogs thought, what dogs felt. Some of them tell you what dogs say, and they put words in dogs' mouths. And I didn't buy it. I went around and observed dogs and saw a lot of contradictions to many of the things I'd read. And I wanted to know the dog as the dog self-represented. I didn't want to project. I didn't want to make a puppet out of a dog where I played both sides of the net, so to speak. And And that requires patience and openness and a certain amount of vulnerability that can be almost scary, because I assume you coming into this program, you have post-traumatic stress. And that means that in many cases, your trust has been injured. And I'm going to ask you to allow your dog to help you start to heal that trust. And one of your biggest responsibilities is going to be vulnerable, to trust your dog. And as a side thing that I do, I train disaster search and rescue dogs for a disaster response team I'm part of. And the motto in Canine Search and Rescue is trust your dog. And our motto in this program is trust each other. And another big motto in Canine Search and Rescue is read your dog. And again, I'm going to kind of hijack that and add to it and have it be read one another. So in being responsible to a dog, I think we have to be open to seeing who the dog is instead of who we wish the dog was, and seeing the real dog instead of, an overlay or kind of projection of what we've been taught to look for. So there's more to dogs than what meets the eye, especially because of cultural expectations and the actual training you've experienced since you were a child to view dogs in a certain way. So you've probably been exposed to some dog movies, dog fiction, supposed documentaries, real dog training by dog whispering experts, etc. But most of them are applying their own lens and speaking for dogs. And I want you to learn to listen and really get to know this individual who's going to be maybe one of the most important family members and offer you one of the most important relationships you will ever experience. Your wellness is going to be improved by this friend. And so you making time for this friend to give the best care you can give is not only great for your dog, but it's part of you getting better. When you have someone who needs you, when you have someone who relies on you, when you have someone who you have to go get that dog food, you have to get up, you have to feed that dog and walk that dog, and you see her dependence upon you, and you see her gratitude and her joyful love and appreciation of you, you're going to want to do it. And even when it's hard, you're going to want to do it. And you're going to start to rise to your best occasion for your friend. So I will have lots of links and materials for you to check that I'll give you specific guidance on wellness and care for your dog. And we have an excellent contributor to this program, Dr. Lynn Seebeck, who is a veterinarian. She's a very good friend of mine. She has a background in ethology, which is the study of behavior of animals, looking at them through their biological perspective. So it doesn't make dogs have to be hairy humans. It looks at dogs as dogs. So Lynn brings a lot to the table. She's going to be an excellent contributor. She'll be doing monthly live webinars with me where we'll talk about different subjects specific to dog health and wellness throughout the program. And then this doesn't replace your regular veterinarian. If you already have a dog, your dog obviously already has a veterinarian. And one of the things that we'll be going over with you before you add a dog to your family is more detailed steps for securing and maintaining wellness and having a great relationship with your veterinarian. So the care of your dog is going to be specific to your lifestyle and specific to your dog's needs. But there are just some general details. I'm going to share some links on this page to get you started and to make sure you feel comfortable and happy with how you're caring for your dog. So that's all I've got for you for right now. And I'll see you in our next meeting. Thanks. Bye.